Back to another react, and today we have Drake and Josh finally explain their beef. Full documentary. It is an hour long. We got a lot of stuff going on. And yeah. I'm actually pretty happy to hear about it. But anyway, if you guys want to see more reactions in real time, twitch.tv/Brando or whatever, like, subscribe, and let's get into it. To be completely honest with you, I watched Drake and Josh. I remember I wasn't like big into it when when it was like airing new episodes. I wasn't big into it, but I remember after it ended. It was like one summer at my grandma's house. I was probably like 8 or 9, and it was on like Hulu, and you could stream the whole thing, like the whole. I think there was only like one episode missing, and I ended up binge watching the whole show all the way through, like in like 2-3 days. Yeah, no, definitely one of my favorite shows. Someone asked me Sweet Life for this. I think I got Sweet Life though. Sweet Life hits more close to home for me. But yeah, no, Drake and Josh, I always thought they were funny. I always thought they were cool. Megan, Drake, Josh, the parents, they were all cool.
On the set of the iconic Nickelodeon sitcom Drake and Josh, the two boys seemed to be best friends, but that wasn't exactly the case. One was going through some of the darkest atrocities imaginable, and the other was also experiencing an extremely complicated childhood, but they did not tell each other what was going on, and as a result, the two had one of the most catastrophic public falling outs in Nickelodeon history.
Is this a case of, you don't know what the hell I'm going through, and it's like, like, yeah, no. They probably both thought the other one had a way better life. Damn, that's rough.
For years, fans have wondered exactly what went wrong, why their relationship soured, and recently they came together and discussed everything on a 2-hour podcast that connected all of the missing pieces that we were left in the dark about for decades. While most celebrity stories and feuds feel unrealistic and manicured to fuel public interest, the story of Drake and Josh's complicated relationship is very relatable. Sure, none of us can truly relate to the pressure of being a child star, while also dealing with the horrors behind the scenes, but the complications between Drake and Josh resemble a difficult relationship that you might have with a friend, uncle, cousin, or other family member. One that follows a cycle of love, hate, tension, animosity, remorse, guilt, and reconciliation. Drake and Josh's story is not some fleeting celebrity drama. So today we're going to discuss the entire thing while addressing all of the nuances and complications of a real-life relationship. Drake and Josh's lifelong troubled relationship started from the very first time they met. Drake did not like Josh, and Josh was determined to win him over. The then 14-year-old boys met on the set of The Amanda Show, which was a sketch comedy television.
What happened to Amanda Bynes was bad too. I don't know. It's just like the whole like 90s, 2000s. If you were a child star in the 90s and 2000s, oh my God. I pray for you. You guys went through the worst stuff. And I mean, it was honestly, it was obviously worse. Being a child star through any period was rough. But like, I guess because like the 90s and 2000s, excuse me. I was born in 2003. So like in those moments, wait, one second. Yeah, in the 90s, 2000s, I was born in 2003. I grew up in the 2000s and 2010s. And it's like you never hear a story of a child star that was a child star and then was just like, I wouldn't say normal, but not severely mentally like abused and physically abused. Like it's different. Like Dylan and Cole Sprouse, Zach and Cody, as people know them as, they are probably the best. They're probably the 1%ers. Other than that, everyone else has some horrific horror story, dude. Like absolutely horrific horror story. It's insane.
Program that was essentially the kid-friendly version of Saturday Night Live, starring Amanda Bynes. Belle was a part of the cast since its first episode in 1999, while Peck didn't join as a regular until later seasons.
I came on the Amanda Show. We didn't get along at first, but I thought you were so cool, and I really wanted you to like me. And then, thankfully, we had this shared love of old school comedy and sitcoms and great television, and so once you realized that I was kind of funny and I liked people who liked funny. We were suddenly like inseparable.
Yeah.
At first, Drake was almost second to Amanda, and Josh came on as a tertiary character that they would sometimes make fun of. But once Drake and Josh had to collaborate on a sketch as two Italian mobsters, they realized their comedic chemistry was undeniable.
Tony Pajamas, what's your problem, Big Tails?
Yeah, what's your problem, Big Tail? I can't sleep. You want I should put her out?
Not yet.
Hey, cannoli? No, I just want to hear a bedtime story. She just wants to hear a bedtime story.
Hey, I got it.
He's got his.
And 25 years later, that chemistry is still there.
She wants to hear about a story.
Oh, you want to hear a story? I got a story.
And he
All
goes-
right, so you got this. There's this guy, right? He's driving his bike, and he falls off, and his kickstand goes right through his leg.
right through his leg.
Drake was an old soul as a kid and
That's
became a
stupid.
huge fan of classic buddy comedies such as Abbott and Costello and Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis. Drake dreamed
pulls.
of one day
Good
having
pulls.
a comedy sidekick, and he officially found his match. The two boys became good friends off screen as well. They would go bowling, hang out after hours, and even have
Crazy cut.
sleepovers. The Amanda Show became the highest rated live action program on Nickelodeon during its run, and while this may seem like an amazing way to start a child acting career, Drake was suffering unimaginable trauma as a pedophile had infiltrated the Nickelodeon network. It's very important to remember that the general public was not aware of the information that you're about to learn until 2024 when it was discussed in a documentary called Quiet on Set. This documentary drastically changed everything that people thought they knew about Drake Bell. Drake Bell
So this is gonna be a yap session. I'm not gonna lie, this is gonna be a yap session. Sorry. This is gonna be like a nice video to fall asleep to for the people that do that to my videos. But this is the whole Quiet on Set, Brian Peck situation. This is like the whole documentary was horrible. It was horrible, dude. It was horrible. And it's just like, spoiler alert, this motherfucker does, like, he sexually assaults Drake. Ooh, can I say that? He essays Drake, right? And then he essays him and then finds work on other platforms. He was he was on Sweet Life is Acting Cody. He was on, I think That's So Raven. It was a couple other like Disney Channel shows. Disney hired him after what he did. And it was still like, it wasn't public knowledge, but in the industry, people knew. People knew that this motherfucker was weird. They knew that he was weird. And they still fucking hired him. That's all, dude. That's so fucking disgusting. Like, if it's one thing that like can make me emotional, it makes me truly wish that we could get rid of is people that do stuff to kids, that do stuff to children, because children don't deserve it. No one deserves it. No one deserves to be essayed. Let me make that very clear. But to do it to children, children are naive, children are pure, children are loving. They do not yet know the horrors of this world, and you rip that innocence away from them. Like me, I got the veil of innocence slowly but surely lifted. Day by day, something happens, and you're like, But to rip the innocence away from a child, I truly think you should not be here anymore. There's no coming back from that. I don't think you are a good person. I don't think you should have a second chance. I think truly you just need to be gone. Leave the children alone. This motherfucker right here is the most deplorable human being ever, and I hope he never knows peace.
formed a bond with dialogue coach Brian Peck during the second season of The Amanda Show. Peck, who has no relation to Drake's co-star Josh Peck, would invite Drake to his house for acting lessons. These lessons were supervised by Drake's father, Joe, who was told that Brian Peck was a skilled coach who could help Drake secure more acting opportunities. However, over time, Joe became uncomfortable with their relationship.
And unfortunately, I started seeing Brian start to just hang around Drake too much. And it didn't set well with me. Drake would be in the dressing room or something, and in would pop Brian. And just touch Drake. You know, do things that, wait a second, what are you doing? Drake can put that on himself. And the thing is, this is in front of people.
Joe claims that while his son was in the dressing room, Brian would touch Drake in front of others in ways that made him question Brian's intentions. Joe expressed his concerns with the production personnel and said he was uncomfortable with Brian, only to be called homophobic because of Brian's sexual orientation.
And that shit would have me tight. That shit would have me fucking tight. Cause he was the only one. Oh, bro, this shit go. I'm sorry, bro. I don't play about this shit. This shit actually make me mad, bro. He was the only one. I watched the documentary, bro. He was the only one that was like, "Hey, this shit a little weird." Like, hey, bro. And I'm pretty sure there were other gay people on the set. I'm probably not openly gay because it was the '90s, but like, I'm pretty sure there was other gay people on the set. I'm pretty sure people knew there were other gay people on the set. But nah, bro. Like, that's why I say personally, if I say that motherfucker's weird, bro, I don't mean like he a little unorthodox. Because, bro, I'm weird. Like, I do weird shit, bro. Like, you know, sometimes I eat the Kit Kat as a whole bar, bro. I don't break it. I'm sorry. But no, bro, if I say that motherfucker's weird, I mean he's weird. He's weird. Like, don't trust him alone with your kid weird, bro. No, he's fucking weird. Like, that shit would have me so hot, bro. If I'm sitting there and I'm like, bro, like, I don't like how this dude is, like, around my kid. First off, it's my kid. At no point do you guys think to yourself, like, yeah, we'll have a conversation with him about being a little, you know, about the kids. You get what I'm saying? It's my kid. It's my kid. You get what I'm saying? And then you sit there and you make the guy feel bad by going, is it because he's gay? Bro, I don't give a fuck if he's gay or not, bro. He's fucking touching my kid. Like, nah, bro. Hey, everybody in that bitch, everybody at Nickelodeon that was trying to make Joe Bell seem like a homophobe, fuck y'all. Like, I'm so dead ass fuck y'all. Bro. Fuck y'all. Y'all all owe that man an apology. Every single last one of you.
Therefore, Joe backed off. Once this got back to Brian, he manipulated Drake into severing ties with his father/manager, suggesting that Joe was sabotaging Drake's career. Peck,
I better not see this nigga in real life. Then he went up to Drake and said, hey, your dad's doing a whole lot of yapping, bro. We're gonna have to get him the fuck up out of here, man. What about your career? Drake? Hey, not Josh Peck. Brian Peck, bro. If you ever see me, Mr. Brando or whatever in the streets, I need you to walk the other way. Because if I see you and I notice it's you, it's fucking up. I don't care, bro. I don't care.
Subsequently integrated himself into multiple areas of Bell's life and became a father figure for the young actor. Eventually, Peck convinces Drake's mother to let him stay at his house during auditions. Then when Drake slept on Brian's couch, the sexual assault started.
I was sleeping on the couch where I would usually sleep, and I woke up to him. I just opened my eyes, I woke up, and he was sexually assaulting me. Why don't you think of the worst stuff that someone can do to somebody as a sexual assault, and that'll answer your question.
Drake wouldn't tell anyone for several months. The abuse persisted until Drake began spending more time at a girlfriend's house. One day, when he was supposed to meet with Brian, Drake said he didn't want to hang out. Brian then started calling his phone nonstop. When Drake failed to answer...
Grown-ass man. 30, 40 years old, blowing up a teenager's phone. I need you to understand that that's weird. Like, bro, I made jokes about this in the past, where I say I don't date girls younger than me, or I don't talk to girls younger than me because it makes me feel weird. I talked to a girl that was younger than me once. Excuse me, and I did feel weird. I did feel weird because it's like I don't like being the older person. You have a kind of a sense of authority. You get what I'm saying? Like, and depending on how big the age gap is, it gets weirder and weirder. You get what I'm saying? And also, depending on how older you are, that age gap starts to mean less and less too. But like, bro, nah. Like, I was talking to this girl. I was 20, and I think she was 18, about to be 19. I felt weird, dude. Like, I don't know. It's just me. Like, it's just me. And, like, I know that doesn't sound crazy on paper. I know that doesn't sound crazy at all. But, like, bro, no. I couldn't do it. Sweet girl. I fucked with her heavy. But, like, that was definitely a thing that kept crossing my mind, bro. Like, I don't know. It's just, like, the older you get, the more the age gap doesn't matter. Like, me being 21, I don't know if I would talk to a 19-year-old. Nah. But, like, if I was, like, 24, like, if I was 24 and, like, a 21-year-old was trying to holler at me, I would let her slide. That's me as a 21-year-old saying this now. I don't know. Ask me in 3 years. Yeah, nah, bro. Like, you gotta feel weird. Like, I always used to say this because my ex, she used to have a lot of older dudes try to hit her up, and I'm like, you don't think that's like weird? like you don't think that's weird? Because they were trying to hit her up on like a friendly tip, you know, to not be weird, because they know what they're doing is weird. You're trying to talk to a 20-year-old girl at the age of like 40, 50, you get what I'm saying? And they would try to be like, oh no, I'm just trying to like be your friend. I'm just trying to be cool with you, bro. I'm the cool dad. You get what I'm saying? No, bro. I used to tell her all the time, like, no, bro, they're weird. Nah. And then also to the mom, and I'm not gonna try to slander the mom, bro, because it's probably easier for her to have. What up, Cam? We in the middle of a very serious video. I'm sorry I can't be lit right now. What up, Cam? I'm glad you stopped in, gang. I really fuck with you. But yeah, nah, bro. For the mom, it was probably easier to have her son just stay with someone that she trusted on the set. But as a kid, I'm gonna let y'all in my life a little bit. As a kid, my mom did not let me sleep over people's houses, bro. We gooning, we not gooning, bro. The gooning video is over. Bro. But my mom did not let me sleep at other people's houses, and I always wonder why. I always thought she was tweaking, bro. I swear, I was like, bro, why don't you let me do it? Like, why don't you let, bro? Right here is the reason why, bro. And I thank my mom for it every day, bro. I sleep at people's houses now. I think once I got to like 16, 17, she stopped giving a fuck. But like, if I was like 8, she was like, hell no, bro. I was the kid that could go to the party, but I got picked up. I got picked up before everybody went to sleep, which is real, bro. I can't even be mad, bro. Niggas are out here are weird, bro. They're weird.
Sir Brian obsessively started calling his girlfriend's house, which is when the girlfriend's mother suspected something was wrong and took Drake to her family
Is that
therapist.
the mom?
He later detailed the abuse to his own mother, who called the police. I had to be excruciatingly detailed about every single thing and time that it had happened with 2 absolute strangers. The worst part was I had to make a phone call to Brian and get him to admit what he'd done. The police monitored a wired phone call with Brian, who broke into a full-on confession that led to his arrest. The investigation was conducted privately, and Bell remained unidentified to the public for several years due to his age at the time. Drake also refused to tell anyone what was going on, not even his best bro Josh. As if this situation couldn't get any more traumatic and confusing for Drake, before the trial he also needed to return to Nickelodeon Studios to begin filming for his next major role on Drake and Josh.
That big break between Drake and Josh and Amanda Show is when I told my mom what was going on. We went to the police, the investigation, all of the stuff that you saw in the documentary. That was when all of that was going on. And then when we shot the pilot, we were in the middle of the investigation, but nobody had known anything because Brian hadn't been arrested. I had to come back, like the Amanda Show, where the dude was, where the abuse was happening, having the monster in your own in your safe place. Still, where I felt most comfortable, where I was the happiest, was when I was on set with you guys. And the worst part was every day I got there, was the monster was there, you know?
Even though Drake was forced to interact with his abuser.
I didn't know that, bro. Oh, that's so... Oh, bro, this shit about... I'm not gonna lie, bro. This shit about that, like, I actually, like, felt the tear coming, bro. I didn't know that. Having to sit there That shit crazy, bro. That shit crazy, bro. That shit crazy. Nah, that right there, that pissed me off, bro. You are a demon, bro. You are a demon. You are not a good person. You are not you're not a person. You are a demon. You are a demon. You are a demon.
User daily, he did everything in his power to hide his pain and focus on his work. But Josh suspected something was wrong as Drake seemed standoffish.
I was just looking at it through the prism of a 14-year-old's brain, going like, he doesn't want much to do with me. And
Josh essentially thought that Drake just stopped liking him, not knowing the horrors of Drake's abuse. At the same time, Drake also felt a little bit of tension from Josh, but was blaming himself.
Oh, I've got all this stuff that nobody knows about that's going on. Oh, is this gonna hurt our show? Is this gonna, when this drops, is Josh gonna look at me and be like, bro, you took our dream away. Like, you took my dream, like everything, like, are we gonna lose our show?
Drake even said he started losing his hair due to all the stress he was feeling.
It's like two magnets. When you try to get two magnets, both north ends going against each other, they fight back. They're never gonna connect. That's why, like, I will say this, if you are feeling obligated to talk to someone or feeling obligated to not talk to someone because, I feel like they're gonna get upset, or I feel like they're angry, I feel like this, that person is probably thinking the same exact thing. They're probably thinking the same exact thing. It's better that one of y'all flip that so you guys can connect at the end of the day. Two magnets, bro. Y'all are both the north pole of the magnet right now, and it's not, y'all not gonna click. Y'all not gonna click. One of y'all gotta be South Pole, bro. One of y'all gotta be South Pole, just so y'all can figure it out, bro. Just so y'all can figure it out. That's why we all can't think the same, bro. Somebody's gotta challenge your thinking, bro. Somebody's gotta do the opposite.
But then the investigation into Brian's crimes was coming to a close, and some of that pressure was starting to subside, knowing that justice would be served. Drake even decided to tell Dan Schneider about his abuser right before the trial.
And when Drake and I talked and he told me what had happened, I was more devastated by that than anything that ever happened to me in my career thus far. And I told him, I'm here for you. What do you need? Drake's mom, a lovely woman who I stay in contact with this day, she came to me at the time and she said, Dan, I'm not good with words like you are. And would you help me with my speech for the judge? And I said, of course.
Brian Peck was convicted of child molestation in 2004, pleading no contest to a charge of oral copulation with a minor under 16 and a charge of performing a lewd act with a 14 or 15-year-old. He spent only 16 months in prison and was mandated to register as a sex offender. Josh, again unaware of what was going on, one day realized that he stopped seeing Brian on set.
16 months, not enough, bro. We need to get that nigga the fuck up out of here.
And with Drake. So he asked Drake what happened.
I had a feeling, because Brian, who was ever present during the Amanda show, and then he was gone, and I didn't know anything except I had a feeling something happened. And I remember we're in the car, it was you, me, and Jill, and I said, you still talk to Brian? And you just looked at me like, no, Brian's a really bad guy. And I remember thinking, gotcha. And it was all that I needed to know. And I didn't know anything more than that, but I was like, that's clear.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Although Drake's pain was not magically gone once Brian was arrested, he was able to find joy again in acting now that his abuser was not on set. However, Josh was also suffering from his own
and then Josh probably felt really bad. I'm sorry. I told y'all this is going to be an ab session because, like, I know this situation and I know these... I don't know them personally, but like I grew up on this shit. Like I watched Drake and Josh. Josh probably felt bad too, because like he said, he was already thinking like Drake didn't fuck with him anymore, and then he asked that question because he was probably in his head like trying to be like, what's the word? Like try to like strum up conversation. Like, oh wait, oh I know you hang out with Brian, so like, hey, like, do you still hang out with Brian? And then when Drake turned around and was like, no, like he probably was like, oh shit, like did something happen? Did I say something wrong? You get what I'm saying? And then that probably made him shut down more, which sucks.
complicated life struggles. Now, by comparison, they seem menial to Drake's, but you have to consider that children feel like they are the center of their own universe, and they don't have that worldly perspective to make sense of their pain. Josh Peck was raised by a single mother, actually never even meeting his father. He was the result of a short fling his mother had with a coworker. Him and his mother went through drastic ups and downs, sometimes living a comfortable middle-class life, and other times not knowing if they will be able to pay rent. To compound this struggle, he was using food as an escape, leading to him becoming very overweight.
I didn't know that I was sort of eating in an unhealthy way. I just felt like I eat fruit snacks like every other kid. I just, do it in an excessive way. So I think that pain was just born out of what we all feel, is that it hurts to be different, and it hurts to know that life is going to be challenging.
Josh also used stand-up comedy and his television roles to escape his internal battles. Perhaps this is what made the two such a great duo. A silver lining to these young boys experiencing a traumatic childhood was that when they came together, they felt safe and comfortable. And because of that, they created one of the greatest live-action shows in Nickelodeon history. Drake Parker and Josh Nichols were two brothers bound by their parents' marriage, forced to live in the same house, go to the same school, hang out with the same friends, while having totally opposite personalities. Josh was the hefty, emotional dork, while Drake was a smooth-talking ladies' man who led a rock band. It was common that the Nickelodeon writers made Josh the butt of the joke. I mean, it's very easy to pick on the overweight goofy kid. Drake, on the other hand, would often be this glamorized bad boy. He was lazy, rude, and self-centered. He would not stand up for his brother Josh. He would go hang out with girls and friends without him, and basically had a hard time accepting Josh as his brother.
Okay, here's my vision. I see your band in a desert. The sun beats down, little creature scampers by. Perhaps a lizard?
Oh, here's my vision. I don't care about your vision. The video should show off my band.
And although the show produced some hilarious moments when the brothers were pitted against each other,
You made that whole story up. No, you started that fight. You calling me a liar?
I ain't calling you a truther. No. They got some of the greatest bits. They got some of the greatest bits of all time, bro. They got some of the greatest bits of all time, bro. No, they got it. Oh, the fucking Drake. Where's the door? Cut it out with I drew it with magic marker. I was gonna cut it out with the saw. Oh, really? Yes, bro. Stop fucking rushing me. All right, Drake. Get the power saw. Bro. They got it, bro. They was the king of bits, bro. Episodes
were usually when they had to work together to get themselves out of ridiculous situations.
You gotta get me out of this. I want to be cooler, but I can't go out there and play against the toughest team in the state. Okay. He's thinking. He's snapping.
I got an idea.
He's got an idea.
Okay, you need to stop that.
Done.
During season 3, Josh started to grow taller and lost a noticeable amount of weight. So the show's writers could not just resort to cheap fat jokes, but they still often made him a punching bag.
Why don't you just shave that thing off? No. All right, ever since I've grown this mustache, people treat me differently. I get more respect.
Hey, Josh. Helen wants you to go down to the basement and empty the rat traps.
You see? Helen never let me do that before.
Package for Josh Nichols.
Thanks. Have a good day.
Don't tell me what to do.
Although Drake warmed up to Josh eventually, his character remained the inconsiderate troublemaker, and often the show reminded us how rude he actually was.
I have to take Helen home, right? And I need you to follow me so I can get a ride back.
Kiss pretty girl, drive brother in traffic.
While we know that this is merely just actors leaning into their characters for the sake of comedy, and now we love them both for playing these roles so well, you have to remember that the target audience for this show were children, and it appeared to them that Drake was the main character and Josh was the sidekick, which is essentially proven by the fact that Drake won 10 Kids' Choice Awards and Josh only won once. It was clear that Drake was the fan favorite, and
10 of them bitches? Damn, he was cleaning the house, bro. I did. I'm not gonna lie. I did think Drake was the front man, and Josh was just there. That's real.
Josh kind of understood because he also idolized Drake since they first met. But at the same time, Josh was 50% of the show. Some would argue that Josh's one-liners and physical humor is what actually made the show so successful.
I think he might have the best lines.
Get
No
ready for my
cap.
big dinner. Drake, what are you doing here? You're never home Saturday night.
I told you tonight's my big fight with Lucy.
No, you never said that. Never said that, okay? You never said you were gonna be home Saturday.
Well, I am. Ooh, olives.
Okay, paws off my olives.
In addition to this imbalance on screen, off screen, Josh was still going through tough times. Because of his weight, he felt like he was missing out on a normal teenage life, the life that Drake was seemingly living.
I just knew that I felt like because I was so insecure, I had missed out on a lot of my teenage years. It wasn't without lack of opportunity to go out and be a knucklehead and experience life. I just didn't want to do it because I didn't love the body that I was in. So I felt like if I didn't act now, I was going to lose some really important years.
Josh got sick and tired of being sick and tired, and he spent his summers walking through New York City for miles while slowly making better food choices. His consistency led to him losing a total of 127 pounds in 3 years. This physical
Good job, Josh. Good job. Hey, good job. Boy.
Transformation had a profound effect on the Drake and Josh show. His new body seemed to make him more confident in pursuing physical comedy on screen.
Drake!
Hang on, I'm busy.
Mindy just told me she loves me. What?
Tell me exactly how you responded when Mindy said, I love you.
I didn't know what to say, so I just said, seeing chemistry, and I slammed the door in her face.
And as a result,
I'm not gonna lie,
season 4 of
Mindy
the show
bad.
produced some of the most hilarious
Bit,
and
bro.
memorable moments.
The greatest bit,
You're
bro.
supposed to cut it out with the power saw.
Dude, I'm gonna.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So go get the power saw.
Okay, I will. I see the problem.
Oh, do ya?
The Drake and Josh series premiere was watched by 3.2 million viewers, the network's highest rated series premiere in
Niggas
nearly
was
10
hilarious, bro.
years.
They was so
Episodes
hilarious,
regularly
bro.
saw viewership upwards of 5, 6, 7 million. As of 2006, the show ranked consistently among the 10 most watched cable shows across all of television. It was a certified hit.
Back when that meant something. It don't mean nothing now.
Creating core memories for kids all around the world. After the show, people just assumed these two remained great friends and rode off into the Hollywood sunset becoming successful actors. But that wasn't exactly the case. Drake continued his dominance at Nickelodeon as a top star. Josh, on the other hand, wanted to develop a career outside of the kids' network, while simultaneously entering the darkest part of his life. One might assume that his amazing physical transformation had nothing but a positive impact on his life, but Josh says otherwise. It became clear that once I lost the weight, that I was the same head in a new body. I had this illusion of becoming more confident and attractive when I was partaking. I was trying to quiet that voice that woke me up every morning and told me I wasn't enough. In an attempt to live the teenage experience to the fullest while he still had a couple years.
My room is so damn warm, I cannot sleep. I've been there before. Actually, I have a fan right there. That fan runs 24/7, 365, bro. I can't sleep hot. It literally is hell. I hate it.
To do it, he went overboard, falling victim
Also,
to
hey,
a
Rach.
dangerous drug and alcohol addiction.
And suddenly I'm like now looking like a normal kid and a normal teen. And I'm like, oh, they do drugs and that's normal. And they go to house parties and they go to clubs.
It's not normal.
And they show up late to places and they're unreliable and that's normal. And I died to be normal. And I remember the first, when I finally said
Rach,
yes.
Might have to go
I
turn
had no
on that AC.
conception that this drug would make me feel any different.
I
That it
don't
was
know.
extreme. All I thought was, A, I hope she's watching, and oh, good, I'm normal.
While Josh was going through hard times, Drake was receiving very consistent work over the years, doing voice acting roles in shorts, TV shows,
he did become
and movies.
Spider-Man, bro.
His most notable role was Peter Parker in Marvel's Ultimate Spider-Man animated series. When he wasn't doing voiceovers, he was writing and releasing his own music. Interestingly enough,
Drake
his
Campana
records weren't very popular in the United States, but were huge in various Spanish-speaking countries. The Drake and Josh Nickelodeon show was extremely popular
Hey,
in
your
Latin
dad just gonna have
countries,
to
likely
understand,
due
bro.
to
He
the
gotta swing
excellent
the
job
rock.
the production team did with dubbing the actors' voices. Drake always wanted to be a rock star, ever since his earliest days on The Amanda Show in 2001. He released music consistently for 17 years, but received no gold or platinum records in America. However, in Mexico and other various Spanish-speaking countries, Drake Bell, aka Drake Campana, had multiple high-charting Billboard singles and albums. In some of these countries, he performed shows for thousands of people. He learned to speak Spanish. He has written and released a ton of music in Spanish. He even provides Spanish subtitles with every podcast or social media post he makes. People have joked on social media that he ran away to Mexico to avoid charges of his 2020 crimes, when in reality he was more successful there for over a decade and probably made most of his income in Latin-speaking countries.
And what's it like in Mexico? Like, because you moved to Mexico, right? It seems amazing.
It's unbelievable, bro. You have no idea.
Tell me more, Drake Campana.
It's unbelievable. In Mexico, we were on Channel 5. We were like on
Oh,
After
wow.
Friends or Seinfeld. You know, it's like we're on normal TV.
No, that's crazy. No, 2000s Mexican cable had to be peak, bro. It had to be peak because I know they be watching Dragon Ball Z as a regular show too, bro. Imagine watching Dragon Ball Z, Friends. Good night, Rachel. Good night, Rachel. I appreciate you tapping in. Have a good night, love. But anyway, imagine watching Dragon Ball Z, Friends, Seinfeld, Drake and Josh. Oh, bro, no, they got some hitters over there, bro. After your favorite telenovela. Nah, bro, they had some hitters over there, bro.
Everyone watched us. We weren't a kids show. There's a place called Veeps. It's like Denny's. The menu for the children's menu is us, bro.
What?
Nah.
Like when you buy Doritos, you buy whatever, and you open them up, like the little like prizes inside is us.
Despite Josh's addiction and unreliable.
No, bro, I need proof of this, bro. No. What do you say? It's called Veeps. It's called Veeps, bro. I'm sorry, bro. This is gonna be a long ass reaction. I don't care, bro. I don't care. This actually, like, nah, this moves me, bro. I can't find this, bro. Damn, I wish I was a bigger streamer, bro. If I was a bigger streamer, I would have been like, hey, bro, somebody in Mexico send me a picture of this. Nah, bro. I need proof of this. I need proof of that. I need proof of that. That's funny.
He successfully broke the child star curse he was so desperate to escape from, and he did that with his role as Luke Shapiro in The Whackness. This coming-of-age dramedy set in 1994 in New York City follows a teenage drug dealer who trades weed for therapy sessions with his eccentric psychiatrist. Infused with 90s hip-hop culture, the film explores themes of adolescence, depression, love, and self-discovery. The Whackness premiered at the 2008 Sundance Film Festival,
sound
where it
fire.
won the
That low-key
Audience
sound
Award
fire. That
for
low-key sound
dramatic
fire.
feature. Josh had finally achieved success outside of the goofy fat guy trope he thrived in his whole career. Yet he realized it did not fill the empty void he was feeling in his life.
I had this realization, which was, oh no, you're bottomless. Like, you tried to fill this with food, then drugs and alcohol, and now, like, prestige, and none of it.
Nothing's gonna fill the void.
None of it. And I got sober 2 weeks later.
Luckily for Josh, he did not spiral deeper. He understood that he was trying to cure an internal problem with external solutions, and instead he chose the right path forward with therapy and sober living. He basically
Josh.
stayed busy every single year since then, securing a major film, TV, or voice acting role. He even took to social media, becoming one of the most popular creators on the 6-second video app Vine.
No cap. When he hit Vine, bro, changed life.
No way. You calling me a liar?
I ain't calling you a truther.
Then again, neither Drake nor Josh's personal troubles made for viral headlines. Sure, TMZ did their standard coverage, and maybe diehard fans were concerned about the two, but generally speaking, the mainstream fandom were now in high school and college and focusing on their own lives rather than their childhood celebrity favorites. Plus, Drake and Josh were frequently seen together over the years. Here is a photo that Josh posted to his Instagram in 2012 of them hanging out at a house party. Here is another photo of them in 2013 at a Christmas party. In 2014, there were multiple photos of them together. Josh even personally invited Drake to have a cameo in an episode of Grandfathered in 2015, which was a show about a socially awkward yet lovable new dad who unexpectedly reconnects with his suave, restaurant-owning father, played by John Stamos.
You remind me of my stepbrother.
Oh, but is he awesome?
No, he's in jail for stalking Oprah. Anyway, let's get inside so you guys can buy me dinner.
It's time for you to go, Kirk.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Go away. Have a nice night.
Don't tell me what to do.
What would that command even do? What would that command even do, bro? Like, I don't even know what that would do, bro.
So it seemed like on the surface that Drake and Josh were friends. They were hanging out all the time and even collaborating. But it turns out that these meetups were actually extremely brief and infrequent. Quite literally just a quick little catch up because
I got a command for you to try, bro. 1 second. Go ahead, click that link for me. Go ahead, click that link for me. I need to feed my cat. Just go ahead, click that link for me. Bro, it won't hurt. I swear. You'll be alright. Don't worry about it.
Because they happened to be at the same party. Drake actually wanted to be closer to Josh at the...
You ain't had to say all that, bro. You ain't had to say... You know what, bro? You ain't had to say all that, bro. But remember that, Cam. Remember that.
This time, but was unable to express that to him.
No, John was in here the whole time and then pinned that shit. There's no way, bro. The one day I have a mod in my chat, bro, he uses it for evil. What the fuck?
We're hanging out at Michael's a lot, and we were just, and like there was, I always felt like, man, we're all hanging, like, we got the same, like we should be closer. There's something. I'm like, oh, I'm not cool enough to like hang out with Josh. Like, oh no, he's, I'm not like, I'm not funny enough. I'm not this. He thinks I'm this, and like we were doing the same shit when we really should have just been like, bro, want to go grab some pizza?
What did I just say? I literally said that shit earlier in this stream, bro. 2 magnets, bro. So one of y'all just gotta flip it. One of y'all just gotta flip your fucking thinking, bro.
Like, play some video games.
And the result of this friction between the two would get blown out of proportion. Because in 2017, Drake posted 2 tweets about...
I did not do that, but... I know he was diddled. I don't know about him being one, though, bro. But I know he was diddled. I know he himself was diddled. It's documentation of that shit. But, hey, that's why we're watching the video. Maybe he is.
How he was not invited to Josh Peck's wedding, which sent the media into a frenzy, speculating that
we can't call all Drake's pedos, bro.
Out. When you're not invited to the wedding, the message is clear. True colors have come out today.
Yeah, nah.
Message is loud and clear.
This hit the
Ties
internet
are
like a
officially
bomb.
Cut. I'll miss you, brother. From there, Drake also did a few interviews where he discussed his feelings about not receiving the invite, but he still expressed nothing but grace for Josh.
Friend, you're talking to your friend, and you're congratulating him on, oh, I'm so glad you're engaged, congratulate, blah blah blah, and then you see on social media that he had a wedding, and I go, what? I didn't hear about it, I didn't know about it, and so I shot from the hip. And
51 likes didn't hit shit, bro. This is Twitter in 2014, bro. Cam, bro, I forgot, bro. You a youngin', bro. You really don't know, bro. Nah, this shit. Drake and Josh, bro. When niggas found out about this, bro, nah, this hit like a bomb. This hit like a bomb, bro. This hit like a bomb. I'm 16. Yeah, bro, you don't know, bro. You don't know, bro. you don't know, bro. You don't know, bro. You don't know, bro.
I was like, what? This is wrong. Like, why am I finding out about this on social media? I just felt like a bummed out brother, just kind of hurt. But it had nothing to, it does nothing to our relationship. We're brothers. We're friends. He's been one of my dearest friends for the past 18 years.
You can't say that after crashing out
on
on
the hate for not inviting Drake to the wedding, and it really cast a dark cloud over this special night. The next time Josh saw Drake, which was at the VMAs in 2017, he asked Drake to apologize to his wife Paige for the tweets, and Drake happily did.
And I remember that I was at the Video Music Awards, and I see him there. and he sees me, and I go up to him, like, and this might be the most Sopranos thing I've ever done. And I look at him and I go apologize to my wife right now. And he goes, okay. And he like made a beeline for my wife, and I see him do like this whole 5-minute performance of an apology. And it was like, I was like, go apologize to my wife or something bad's gonna happen.
After Josh claims to have intimidated Drake, he ran up behind him and put a camera in Drake's face to vlog their reunion moment to show the public that they didn't have any real beef.
Holy, come on. What's up, buddy? Is this happening right now live is this really right now live?
Stream live right now.
Oh my god.
Please
Wait,
tell
is this
Facebook
streaming?
to be nice to me.
Oh my god, it's not even my fault.
Just tell Facebook to be nice to me.
Listen, lay off.
Thank you. You heard that, Facebook? It's all good.
Chill out.
We love
Lay
you.
off, man. All right,
I got
wow.
$100 for you.
Drake and his ex
That nigga Josh was flexing for the gram, bro. He was flexing for the gram, bro.
wife Janet said that this moment was actually sincere. The couples exchanged numbers and went out to dinner multiple times afterwards, seemingly rekindling their friendship. They even did some content together as Josh was pursuing YouTube very seriously.
That's Drake. That's Josh.
And it's all love, people.
Back together again.
We're all good.
That's amazing.
So,
Wouldn't look like it sucked anyway.
oh, fuck you.
Me? You know what? Mom never even liked you.
She's not our mom. We're not on a TV show.
We now know exactly why Drake was not invited to the wedding. On their most recent podcast, Josh revealed that Drake wasn't singled out. It's just that nobody from the Drake and Josh cast was invited. The only person from Nickelodeon that was invited to Josh's wedding was Dan Schneider, because his wife...
Yeah. We didn't invite Megan. We did exactly, not calling him a truther, bro. But yeah, nah, bro. They literally, we didn't invite Megan. We didn't invite nobody cool, bro. Crazy Steve, nobody, bro. Amanda. We invited the fucking PDF. Feet man himself, bro. Come on. Bro. This motherfucker pissed me off so crazy, bro. I swear, bro. Oh my God.
was friends with Josh's mom.
I love you. I love Miranda. There's so many people that I probably would now at 38 wanted there. But at 30, I just wanted to leave it all behind.
Yep.
Because it felt like it didn't serve me anymore.
Yeah.
And the realization I had...
He low-key
when,
do.
You know, you
I
wrote
was
that
wondering
stuff
who he
during
looked
my
like
wedding
that.
about,
Nah.
our friendship and all these things. And,
Nah,
and our
nah,
love
nah.
and
He
our
low-key
history.
do.
I think you were living in the world of where our relationship should have been.
Right.
I was too much living in the past of when our relationship wasn't great.
Yeah.
And it was really somewhere in the middle.
At the time, Josh felt that he and Drake grew apart, but it was really that Josh wanted to leave everything related to Nickelodeon in the past, including a close friendship with Drake. This stung extra hard for
Real.
Drake because he actually wanted to be closer to Josh, but because neither of them actually communicated how they felt on the inside, it resulted in this huge wedding blowout. It's also important to realize that this conversation that they had on this podcast in 2025 never was communicated before. So despite Drake and Josh publicly making up in 2017 and making all this content together, they never really addressed the problem. And then something weird started to happen. As Drake continued to do press for different projects, he still seemed bothered by the wedding drama. He seems awfully sarcastic and throwing shade towards Josh in interviews.
I don't know. Josh is busy doing stuff.
I'm sensing some shade.
No shade at all. I love the kid. We're just super. The thing is we're just so busy. Like, you know, I'm constantly on tour. He's constantly at David Dobrik's house, and you know, there's like not a lot of time to really.
Did he ever tell you why he didn't invite you? Did you ever get a reason?
He doesn't like me.
Stop. Is that really what it is?
Yeah, and the extra chicken would have been really expensive, like another $7.95 or something like that.
This interview got 6 million views, and all the
He's being shady, but he's also trying to blow it off. It's childish. It's childish.
comments were all taking Drake's side.
Yeah, we got 6
Remember when
viewers in this
Drake was the
bitch?
cocky
What up?
one and Josh was the sweet and calm one in the show, but now it's the opposite. It seems as Josh sees him as just a coworker and Drake saw him as a friend. That's awkward. But then a few months later, they do more YouTube content together and everything seems totally normal and fine. And by the way, all of these videos have now been deleted from Josh's YouTube channel. And if you're having a hard time following this timeline and it seems very flip-floppy, one minute they're friends, the next they're not, and you can't really get a grip on it, well, you're not alone. It was these mixed signals that made for a lot of confusion.
whatever the public's perception
This nigga makes great TikToks. He makes great videos. Shout out Brandon Calvillo. However you pronounce that. W.
relationship is or isn't, or like what we should be doing to them. All I ever want to say to them is like, whatever you think you know of us is only half as deep as it really is.
Nobody could really tell if they were friends or just trying to remain relevant by milking the drama, or if they secretly were still mad at each other. But then behind the scenes, it got even more confusing when Josh pitched Drake an idea for a reboot of their classic Nickelodeon show. But the plot was seemingly set up to make Drake look bad. In 2019, Josh sent over the script to Drake. The idea was that Drake was going to be a failed musician, and Josh was going to be a successful real estate agent. They were basically parodying Drake's real life as a musician in Mexico, while Josh's character was entirely fictional. The opening line of the first scene was supposed to be one of Josh's clients recognizing him from Nickelodeon and saying their classic "Hug me brother" catchphrase, only for Josh to deny it and say, "Hug yourself, kid."
And then he goes, "Hug me, brother." And then Josh gets in the car and goes,
"Hug yourself, F-head." And that
so
alone.
That was the first thing that I was like, we can't open our show like that.
It would have killed. It would have killed. No cap. It would have killed, bro. Think of the iCarly reboot, bro. If they made a Drake and Josh reboot and that was the first line, bro, they would have killed, bro. It would have been so many tweets that night, like, bro. This ain't the Nickelodeon days no more, huh, bro? Yeah, nah. That clip would have went. That clip would have went platinum, bro. It would have went triple platinum in the streets. No cap. Anytime Josh Peck crashed out from that point forward, bro, motherfuckers was gonna use that clip, bro. I'm telling you. V, what up though?
Red flag, because you just
how we doing today, V?
To the entire audience, Josh fan base.
Yeah.
Then it transitions to Drake in Mexico
I
performing
don't
a
know if that's what
quinceañera
it
for
meant,
the
but,
daughter of a drug cartel leader, where they are all drinking and
Whoa. What? This nigga performed at a drug kingpin's quinceañera? Oh, he really bro. That's really Drake Campana for real, bro. He's a real deal Mexican, bro.
Doing hard drugs. Drake is also performing with a mariachi band.
Oh yeah, it is
During
like the middle of the
performance,
night.
The cartel members get
I appreciate
loaded,
you tapping
and a
in, though,
massive
bro.
gunfight breaks out, and they end up not wanting to pay Drake for his service, which ultimately leads to him being broke and stuff.
That's in the script. That's in the script. I thought that was real life. I was like, nah, Drake, you moving like that?
Mexico.
Josh has Drake stuck in Mexico, has him tweet, "I need money," or "I need to do a meet and greet for money," and only has like 3 people show up to the mall for the meet and greet so that Drake could get money back to the United States.
I'm not sure how real this is, but it sounds like some sort of Josh revenge fantasy for playing the goofy fat kid all those years. I don't think people realize that Drake worked hard to build up a Hispanic fan base. Making a reboot full of stereotypes, many hurtful, about this audience he built would cause Drake to piss off many long-term fans.
Dude.
Whether or not this script was
That's very
real
true.
was never confirmed, but it did seem possible considering what unfolded next. Drake was about to face some major legal troubles
Ooh,
for
okay. This is what Cam was talking about. Bro, stop saying that to people, bro. Drake Bell accused of sexually assaulting a teen girl. It's not looking good, Drake. It's not looking good, Drake. I know you got diddled, bro. I'm hip to the story, but this is crazy. This is crazy.
allegedly sexually pursuing underage girls, and Josh responded with a full-on press tour trying to convince the world that he and Drake hadn't talked in 10 years and were never friends. And that happened roughly around the time Drake was outed by his abuser for allegedly sexually pursuing underage girls. In August of 2020, Drake's former girlfriend, Melissa Lingafelt, who goes by the stage name Jimmy Ono on
That's a
social
crazy
media,
name.
posted
Melissa
a TikTok that
Lingafelt?
jeopardized Bell's clean reputation. Melissa claimed that Drake committed both verbal and physical abuse during their relationship from August 2006 to February 2009.
When I started dating Drake, I was 16. I was homeschooled. I moved in with him. I was singing. It wasn't until about a year when the verbal abuse started. And when I say verbal abuse, imagine the worst type of verbal abuse you could ever imagine, and that was what I got. It then turned into physical, hitting, throwing, everything. At the pinnacle of it, he dragged me down the stairs of our house in Los Feliz. My face hit every step on the way down.
Damn.
I have photos of this. I don't even want to get into the underage girls thing. I mean, I will, but I'm scared.
As if the allegations of physical abuse weren't shocking enough, Melissa hinting that he was somehow involved with underage girls set the internet on fire. Drake vehemently denied ever abusing Melissa. As our relationship ended more than a decade ago, we unfortunately both called each other terrible names, as often happens when couples are breaking up, but that is it. Clearly, Melissa still felt close enough to me just last year that she was comfortable reaching out to ask me to provide her with financial support during a tough time, which I did. The public opinion on the situation was split. While many people reacted with empathy and support towards Melissa, recognizing the seriousness of domestic abuse, others were skeptical and expressed doubt about her claims, especially since Melissa failed to provide any concrete evidence against Drake. Plus, Drake made it seem like she was doing this expose for money, casting doubt on her intentions. It was purely a he said, she said situation, and Drake wouldn't face any legal consequences. Melissa, after spending weeks talking about the situation,
so they never found anything about an underage girl. She was
detached
just
herself from the
saying
situation. But it only took a few months for more serious allegations to come to light and
Let me
Drake's reputation to be permanently destroyed. On June 4th, 2021, Bell was arrested in Cleveland, Ohio on charges relating to attempted endangering of children and disseminating matter harmful to juveniles. For context, child endangerment occurs whenever a parent, guardian, or other adult caregiver allows a child to be placed or remain in a dangerous, unhealthy, or inappropriate situation. Disseminating matter harmful to juveniles means that a person has unlawfully ordered, offered, sold, displayed, or given pornographic or obscene material such as books, videos, messages, photos, etc. to someone under the age of 18. To simplify, he was being charged with sexting a minor. However, the nature of the charges say that there was no sexual contact.
Drake, bro. How many times I've said it all enough times during this video. Stay away from the fucking children. Please stay away from the kids, bro. Stay away from the kids. And like, I'm not trying to get this nigga out. I'm not trying to give him an out at all. Some of this got to be due to the fact that he was diddled. Some of this has to be pent up from when he was diddled, bro. But he himself as a grown man needs to come to terms. He didn't like being diddled, so why are you trying to put another child in that situation? He's trying to do a cycle, bro. No. Bad, bro.
Contact. According to the court documents, the date of the offense was December 1st, 2017. Bell was going to Cleveland, Ohio's The Odeon to perform a concert. Bell then seemingly invited the minor to his show in Cleveland. In the months leading up to the concert, Drake sent the victim inappropriate social media messages. The minor, who lived in Canada, attended Bell's concert in Cleveland. She and Bell met later that night at the Cleveland nightclub on Old River Road in the city's east bank of the Flats district. In October 2018, 10 months after the incident, the 15-year-old victim filed a report with her local police department in Canada regarding what had happened that night. This is all the information that was revealed in the case. So naturally, people were confused as this was all extremely vague. Even news outlets were unable to discern what actually happened.
Disseminating matter harmful to children. We don't have information on exactly what that is, but you can imagine relationship between a 15-year-old girl and a 34-year-old man will let you draw your own conclusions.
Then his ex, Melissa, who accused him of abuse on TikTok 1 year prior, did an exclusive interview with the Daily Beast where she claimed that she observed Bell's inappropriate behavior with minors firsthand. What he's being arrested for right now is a prime example of what I would witness. Him having inappropriate conversations online with underage girls. Melissa said, "I saw really questionable, crazy stuff on his computer. The stuff he'd be looking at was effing insane." These statements, combined with the extremely vague court case details, fueled the narrative that Drake was a pedophile. Now, it's important to consider that as soon as...
Patrick, bro. I don't think you can say that in the video, bro. I don't want to have to bleep that later, bro. What the fuck? You haven't said it all video, bro, and you said it right now. Hey, bro, come on.
The victim reported Drake in October of 2018. Canadian authorities and Cleveland authorities promptly started an investigation. This investigation lasted 18 months, gathering all the evidence, photos, screenshots, and multiple statements from the victim to build a case against Bell. They even gained access to Drake's Instagram, Snapchat, laptops, everything they could. We don't technically know what they found, but whatever it was enough to cause Drake to enter a plea deal instead.
This nigga's name is not Drake. That says Jared Bell. Come on, bro. Jared Drake Bell. Oh, Drake's his middle name. Bro, it's always... Don't name your kid Jared, bro. If you name your kid Jared, bro, he's gonna diddle somebody, bro. It's only Jared's, man. It's only Jared's, bro.
Instead of going to trial. And on June 23rd, 2021, he pled guilty to attempted child endangerment. So remember, all the details regarding his case were extremely vague, and then on top of that, he pleads guilty. So now the general public is extra convinced he is a PDF file. But somehow, it got even worse. Drake's sentencing was conducted over Zoom and then posted on YouTube. During this sentencing, the victim made an impact statement, which is essentially their opportunity to talk directly to the defendant and the judge to express their thoughts and emotions about the crime. This was the very first time anyone had heard the details of the alleged crimes that took place. But during the impact statement, the victim brought up countless new allegations and statements that were never presented during the investigation, which shocked Drake, the defense, and even the judge. Remember, Drake was already pleading guilty to basically sexting, but since he was pleading guilty, the public assumed that everything the victim was saying here was part of the case, but it was not.
I started off as a fan of him. Everyone who knew me as a child knew that he was a hero to me. I would have done anything for him. When I was 11, I learned that my aunt had a mutual friend who knew the defendant. That led to my aunt taking me to meet him for the first time in 2014 when I was 12. From the time I was 12 to 15, my aunt took me to meet him and spend time with him many times. After I met him for the first time, he started speaking to me more frequently online. When I was 13, I went to him for boy advice. He told me that I was beautiful and that boys were stupid. He then sent me a photo of myself that he had screen capped from my Instagram, telling me that I was, quote, such a cute...
Can't say that. 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 A 15-year-old girl come to me, bro, whether I know her in real life or not, bro, asking for some boy advice, I'm gonna be like, look, you know, shit get weird in these streets. That's the most you're getting from me, bro. Yeah, that's the most you're getting from me. Because I'm not gonna lie, that first part, bro, where he said, he literally just, to me, that first part is like a big brother. You get what I'm saying? Boys are stupid, bro. You're beautiful. You'll be okay. You get what I'm saying? That's a big brother, bro. There's nothing weird about that. Then sending this picture and being like, you're such a cutie. That's crazy. That's crazy. Can't do that one. Nope. Should have stopped that. It should have stopped at the last sentence, Ganger.
Beauty. He saved that photo of me onto his phone. Another instance of creepy behavior happened when I was spending time with him at the age of 14. He told me that he couldn't believe how much I'd grown since he last saw me. He said that I wasn't little anymore, and I was, quote, a woman now. But at 15, he started sending me messages about how, quote, hot I was.
That's
in
insane.
the summer of 2017, I messaged him, telling him that I was going to see him in concert in the following months. He replied by telling me that he couldn't wait to see me. He also asked me, quote, how old are you now? I told him 15. He then told me,
only a year older than me.
Hurry up. Not too long after.
Ooh, hurry up is crazy. Hurry up is crazy. Hurry up is crazy. Hurry. Oh my God. Hurry up is insane. Drake. No, you're getting called by your government. Jared.
After that, his messages to me became blatantly sexual. Aside from Cleveland, the only other time that the defendant sexually assaulted me was in October of 2017. It happened in Illinois in the middle of the night. He digitally penetrated me in the back seat of my aunt's car while she was driving.
Whoa. Digitally penetrated you? No, hold on. Maybe I ain't hear
in the middle of the night. He digitally penetrated me in the back seat of my aunt's car while she was driving him to a friend's house. This eventually led to many months of inappropriate
Hey chat. I'm so deadass. What is digitally penetrating me? What is digitally, like, I'm not trolling at all. Like, what the fuck does that mean? He digitally penetrated me? How the fuck do you do that? I don't want to Google it, bro. Bro, streaming be ruining my digital footprint, bro. My FBI agent be looking like, what is this nigga typing now? Nah, bro. I don't know what digital penetration means, bro. That doesn't sound real. I'm not trying to victim blame, but that literally does not make sense to me. Not at all.
Messages and photos being exchanged over Instagram and Snapchat. The photos exchanged included photos of my body and photos of his body and his genitals. He would tell me how badly he wanted to penetrate me vaginally. On December 1st, 2017, my aunt took me to the Odeon Concert Club to watch him perform. That night, the defendant took me backstage to be alone with him. He started kissing me, and the night ended in him having me perform oral sex on him twice. The next incident happened on December 2nd, 2017.
I'm sorry for the people that are
While
joining.
I was alone with him in his hotel room. He had talked to me about seeing me one last time before we all left Cleveland and went home. So we went to his hotel to say goodbye. In his hotel room, he started kissing me and had me perform oral sex on him again. My aunt was right outside the room waiting in the hallway while this was happening. She trusted him and never thought that he would ever do anything to hurt me. The sexual messages continued for a while after that, until I eventually put a stop to them. He ignored me for many days at first. Eventually, he tried apologizing to me for, quote, breaking my heart, but deleted those messages quickly afterward. He preyed on me and abused me. He is a monster and a danger to children. Jared Drake Bell is a pedophile, and that is his legacy.
People picked apart Drake's body language and pointed out that he was laughing, smirking, and shocked. But nobody mentioned that a lot of what the victim was saying here were new allegations that nobody in the court ever heard before. Specifically, the allegations that he forced the girl to give him oral and the allegation that he sent nude photos. The defense and the court both confirmed with evidence that no such sexual advances were made. Otherwise, the charges would have been more severe.
He did not plead to sexual misconduct or engaging in sexual relations. He pled to attempted endangering children and disseminating matter harmful to juveniles. These are serious allegations.
Who the fuck is talking right now? Can we get a new voice in the fucking courtroom, bro? His shit is shot, bro. Please. Anyone know? Why is Fox in this bitch? Channel 8? Hello, Dory.
But they do not involve sexual relations.
This is what Drake's defense admits to.
So the acceptance of the responsibility, Your Honor, is for chats that occurred between he and the victim. The subject matter of those chats were discussion because they had known each other for years, and there were claims that became sexual in nature. When asked, however, at what point, or at your age, excuse me, at that point he said, can you hurry up, which shows a complete intent not to engage with a minor. So, however, those chats, harmful.
Yeah, I was about to say that's still weird. I was gonna like just because you tell a minor, hey, hurry up, that doesn't make it any more weird. Then you just get a grooming allegation, bro. Like, you were waiting, bro. You were waiting for this moment. You're still a freak.
As they were clearly harmed this person at that time. Those were, yes. Thank you. They certainly, however, Your Honor, did not mimic any of the factual scenarios that the victim has brought up here today. And again, I have to emphasize the fact that once the age was known, that terminated at that point, saying hurry up with the age. But I will say this, at the start, he may not have known. He did learn of the age at a later time, Your Honor, and that is why he's accepting the plea.
Basically, Drake admits to conversing with a minor for years, even though he says he didn't know her age. Those conversations eventually turned sexual. Then when he asked for her age, she told him 15, and he said, hurry up.
I say this about every situation that happens like this on the internet, bro. You're still weird. But also, too, his is worse. Because, bro, she said her real age, and then he had the audacity to say, hurry up. That was crazy. That was wild. Never do that, bro. You're a freaky fucking frog, bro. That shit is crazy. But with that being said, bro, you as a famous person, And if I ever blow, not even if I ever blow up, me in my day to day, if somebody hits me up, I get no bitches. But on the off chance someone hits me up, I'm gonna ask you. That's my first question. How old are you? Because like, no, bro. There's no. Oh, we in too deep. We macking this, that, and the third. Oopsie, she's 16. No, you are a grown ass man, bro. You better ask that girl how old she is. You better ask her exactly how old she is, bro. And I understand people lie, but it's better. I would say it's better if she lies than if you didn't do your due diligence, bro. That's all I'm saying. Ask for the age, bro.
Then stopped all communication. When Drake stopped conversing with her, they claimed that flipped the young girl's world upside down, and she started going after Drake's wife and threatening to expose him. They basically paint her as a crazy, obsessed, and jealous fan, which we don't really know if that's true or not. We can't say the victim is lying, and we don't know what evidence was found during the investigation because almost none of it was revealed to the public. But we do know she was bringing up new allegations in her impact statement that she did not formally bring up during the 18-month investigation. Therefore, they cannot be legally considered during sentencing. It's up for you to decide if she was just an obsessed fan that was jealous and trying to ruin his reputation, or if she is actually a victim of a corrupt.
I can't really say much on that. Yeah, I can't really say much on that. I wish if what she's saying is true, I wish she said it before so they could have caught him. Bringing up later, now you ruin your chance. Like you said, they can't sentence him for new stuff that you're bringing up now out of the blue random. Yeah, no. If what she's saying is true, she should have said it before, so it wouldn't have been a problem.
Corrupt legal system. Bell was sentenced to 2 years probation, 200 hours of community service in California, and cannot have any contact with the victim. He was not required to register as a sex offender. At the time, the public looked at Drake as a pedophile who got off with a slap on the wrist. Shortly after this trial, Josh Peck went on various podcasts claiming that he and Drake barely spoke and were never friends, and that's why he wasn't invited to the wedding.
Are
you guys like not friends?
Dave Portnoy.
Not really, no. The dirty little secret, I guess, was like, I knew that Drake and I didn't stay in touch for the 10 years since we had made the show, but no one needed to know that. And it's delusional because I'm like, bro, it's like we worked at Coffee Bean when we were 16. Like, I'm sorry, I'm 31 now, I might have lost your number. I was happy to just die with that secret that, like, we made this thing that people really love, but maybe we weren't that close. So I didn't invite him to my wedding because I hadn't really talked to him in many, many years. Like, Drake and Josh is something I'll be synonymous with forever, and I'm proud of it. And I want to like the guy that my name is attached to forever. But unfortunately, you know, it just sort of worked out the way that it did.
It's pretty safe to say that there is enough evidence in this video to prove that this is a bold-faced lie. They were definitely friends. In fact, they often referred to each other as brothers. They even saw each other once per year, which is actually pretty frequently. A lot of adults don't even get to see their close childhood friends once a year.
No cap, bro. My homie say, dude, bro, I've seen him more this year than I've seen him in probably the last 5. Like, no bullshit. And it's because my homegirl does his hair. That's the only reason why I've seen bro as much as I have. That's my boy. I'll do anything for bro. From like probably like 2021 to like 2023, I don't think I saw bro more than twice, which is no problem. But like, if you see someone that you were tight with at 16 every year up until, that's your boy, bro. You fuck with bro. You fuck with bro to some extent.
Now, we do know that they weren't...
It's really easy. Mostly in this day and age, it's really easy to avoid somebody. Actually, no, it's actually kind of harder in this day and age to avoid someone that you know because social media is a thing. But back then, you get the fuck out of there, bro.
Extremely close. They weren't attached at the hip or constantly involved in each other's lives. But Josh is basically saying that Drake was nothing more than a coworker. He barely spoke to him, and he actually didn't even like him. Which means one of two things. Either this is actually how Josh felt deep down, and now he just has the perfect excuse to say it, or he's lying to the public to distance himself from Drake because of his legal troubles. And it was from there that Drake's life began to spiral out of control. On December 7th, 2022, eyewitnesses caught Drake in the driver's seat of his car inhaling a substance out of balloons while his toddler son and wife were in the back seat. The very next day, another eyewitness report captured him outside of a vape shop inhaling a blue balloon with his child in the back seat. At the time, Bell was still on probation for attempted child endangerment and was seemingly engaging in a recreational substance known as Whippets, where people inhale nitrous oxide from balloons, causing them to experience euphoria, hallucinogenic states, and relaxation. This drug is also extremely addictive and dangerous. The weird behavior continued on April 13th, 2023, when the Daytona Beach Police Department listed Drake Bell as missing and said he had been last seen before 9 p.m. on April 12th in the area of Mainland High School. The department's post note
having those allegations of being with a 15-year-old and then going missing near a high school, not the best look. Not the best look at all.
What car Drake was likely driving, a 2022 gray BMW, and said he could be considered missing and endangered. TMZ obtained a 911 call where someone from Orlando PD explained why police were deeply concerned for Bell's well-being.
Basically, there is a celebrity who had a falling out with his wife. We got involved because the family, he's been texting the family in California saying that he's going to get drunk and hang himself. And he's in a hotel somewhere in Orlando.
Drake tweeted shortly after he was seemingly located, "You leave your phone in the car and don't answer for a night, and this?" While Drake seemed fine given the circumstances, the following week his wife filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. Per the petition, Janet asked for legal and physical custody of their son Jeremy, with Bell getting visitation rights. She also sought spousal support. Bell later revealed that he found out my wife filed for divorce from TMZ before promoting his new song, Going Away. In the song, Drake ironically sings about moving away to a remote island with his wife and son and starting a new life. Presumably unable to cope with the stress of losing his wife and child, eyewitnesses caught Drake using Whippets once again on April 25th as he inhaled from a fully inflated balloon, merely days after the media publicized his divorce. When paparazzi asked him about it, this was his response.
There's some photos that surfaced of you with red balloons. What do you think? What do you gotta say about that, those balloons?
You know, it is what it is. We'll figure it out.
Everything's good?
Yeah.
He off them balloons right now. Also, too, being like this big of a celebrity, like hearing stuff like he had to hear his wife was divorcing him from TMZ, it reminds me of Kobe's wife. When Kobe's wife was like, I had to hear my husband and my daughter died from TMZ. Like, I couldn't imagine getting some earth-shattering, world-breaking news from some motherfuckers that don't know me and are making monetary gain off of it. I couldn't, bro. That's crash out worthy.
Yeah, everything's fantastic, man.
Drake Bell was at the lowest point of his life. Drugs had taken over and he had nowhere left to turn but rehab. However, rehab changed his life more than he anticipated as he began to open up about his childhood abuse.
But when I got into rehab, it was a really intense facility. And I went through a lot of grief counseling and trauma therapy and group therapy and one-on-one. I mean, it was all day. And I was unearthing all of these things that I never talked about. Not only never talked about with strangers, but even with people I was close to, had never gotten that deep about things that I've experienced and things that have happened. And I was around so many people who, for the first time, had similar stories or incredible trauma in their lives and were opening up and sharing, and that was the first time that I really felt like I was in an environment that was comfortable enough to share and felt comfortable enough around people that weren't going to judge and that really just wanted to see you get better.
During this time, a documentary was being worked on called Quiet on Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV, which aimed to expose the toxic and abusive environment behind the scenes of Nickelodeon in the late 1990s and 2000s, particularly under producer Dan Schneider. The doc features former child stars and crew members sharing accounts of alleged mistreatment, exploitation, and inappropriate behavior that went unchecked for years. After rehab, Bell felt like he had a revitalized outlook on on his past and ultimately decided to tell his traumatic Nickelodeon childhood story to the world via this documentary.
Before the rehab, I had said no to the documentary over and over and over and over and over. I was not going to be a part of it. I didn't want any part of it. But after rehab, when I came out, I was like, let me see what your angle is here. Let me see. I'll talk to you guys. I'll start entertaining this idea because I felt really good. And I felt maybe sharing my story will help me and maybe help others.
After hearing about Drake's abuse, the public did a 180 shift on him. His comment sections went from calling him a pedophile to sharing love, condolences, and positivity. People all of a sudden were empathetic. Some even used his past as an excuse for him allegedly engaging in inappropriate behavior with minors. They said,
I'm not gonna use it as a complete excuse, not at all, because like I said, you need to. It's cyclical. He was going to do what that guy did to him to another child, and that's where it's fucked up. And you would hope, like, I get that he's hurting, but you would hope that he would understand that. That's about it.
Said things like Bell was a part of the cycle of abuse and couldn't control what was happening to him. It's true that childhood abuse can have profound psychological effects on survivors, including trauma, depression, and PTSD. Children who grow up suffering abuse may learn abusive behavior as a means of coping or as a model for how relationships function. Approximately 1/3 of all individuals who are abused in childhood will become abusers themselves, according to a study funded by the National Institute of Justice. A survivor of childhood sexual abuse may try to undo that abuse by taking back power. Someone who has been abused can play the role of the more powerful person in the relationship in an attempt to overcome the powerlessness they felt. One day after the Quiet on Set documentary released, Drake released a song and music video called I Kind of Relate. The song starts off with the lyrics, "I found beauty in my pain, I'm running away from the abuse and all the shame, 'cause no one comes to my house anymore, no one knocks on my door." These lyrics are complemented with a visual of him as a child entering his on-set trailer with a grown man who likely represents Brian Peck, his abuser. Then the track quickly transitions to his infamous 2006 car crash, where 19-year-old Drake Bell was stopped at a red light and a driver fell asleep at the wheel going 60 miles per hour, then crashed into his 1966 Mustang head-on. Bell broke his jaw in 3 places, fractured his neck, and lost a bunch of teeth. The song continues, "I lost my path so long ago. In 2008, I found love in Mexico, because no one wants to hear me in the States, so I'm running away." However, Bell releasing this music video after the documentary made some people think he was being disingenuous, that he was essentially capitalizing off the publicity to sell a record. Others pointed out that he has been writing about the abuse in his music for years, like in his 2006 song In the End, where he wrote, "The monsters in your head have left you all to yourself. It's alright if ugly little things remind you of how it felt. Another day no one tells you what it means, what's in your way and poisoning your dreams, the darkest place that you've ever been." Or in his 2020 track, What Is Wrong? "Well, I wish I was a kid again, I would laugh and play, like we did back then. Would I be afraid of all the monsters who just left me here in these abandoned rooms?" We all know that artists write music based on their real-life experiences, and this is Drake Bell's story to tell. Did he pre-plan this song and video to drop at the same time this documentary came out for strategic business purposes?
Yeah. he did. Let's call a spade, but like,
He absolutely did. But it's pretty safe to assume that Drake would 100 out of 100 times choose to not have experienced this horrific trauma. He would have rather had a normal childhood. And if the tiny benefit is that he can make a song about his pain, then so be it. You could also argue that all the people who didn't want to hear his story until he came out about his own abuse are more disingenuous. Plus, the people that made the documentary are profiting off his story. Every YouTuber and TikToker and Twitch streamer talking about it are making money from it. That does not
it's not much, but
diminish or devalue the seriousness of his experience. From there, enraged fans began attacking his co-star Josh Peck, bombarding his comment section with hate, calling him an accomplice, and placing blame on him for Drake's abuse. They just somehow believe that Josh
I think Drake probably was kind of standoffish with Josh because of the fact they do have the same last name, his abuser and Josh. I don't know how much of that plays into anything, but I could see it being a thing. I could see it being a problem.
Complicit or aware of Drake's situation. Josh did make a statement on Instagram that he reached out to Drake privately and showed his support for the survivors that spoke out. Drake even asked supporters to take it easy on Josh.
But he has reached out to talk with me and
helped me work through this and has been really, really great. So I just wanted to let you guys know that and to take it a little easy on it.
Drake asking people to give Josh grace is especially profound considering Josh threw him under the bus when Drake's allegations came to light. Then 1 year later, in March of 2025, Josh invited Drake onto his podcast to have a 2-hour-long discussion about most of the things we covered in this video. This pod connected some of the missing pieces the public had been wondering about their roller coaster of a relationship over the years. And even though this podcast had deep introspective moments, great laughs, and some reconciliation, some fans still believe there is a resistance from Josh. At the very end of this podcast, Josh's co-host Ben says, "I love you, Drake," and Josh laughs at that and even repeats, "I love you, Drake," in a mocking, unserious tone, only for Drake to respond with a genuine, "I love you, Josh."
Love you, Ben.
Love you.
I love you, Ben.
Great. I love you, Drake.
I love you, Drake.
I love you, Josh.
Whenever Drake talks about feeling hesitant or insecure to reach out to Josh in the past, Josh doesn't try to make him feel better or be like, "You can text me anytime, man." He just smiles and nods. It's odd. Drake cares way more for Josh than Josh does for him. It's sad and hard to watch. I'm sorry, but I think Josh is using him to his advantage. He did the same thing a few years ago when it benefited him in his YouTube career and then dropped him again. So fake. Josh has disrespected Drake several times and he comes off as a hater. Now he wants to stand with Drake because of what Drake disclosed happened to him. Such a shame. Josh seems like a fake friend who wants Drake for views. Then again, two things can be true at once. Maybe Josh does see Drake's crimes as reprehensible and unforgivable, but at the same time, he can still feel empathetic for a friend who went through an extremely traumatic and complicated childhood. Even if Josh does still feel resentment towards Drake, whether that be for their complicated childhood or how Drake handled the wedding or Drake's criminal history, it doesn't change this absolute fact. These two are just not the two loving brothers that the fandom so desperately wants them to be. Drake and Josh's relationship is actually very realistic to the real world. It's just complicated. I'm sure you have a friend or brother or cousin or distant family member that you love deep down, but you also don't agree with their life choices. And maybe they piss you off sometimes, but also you understand what they are going through and you truly wish the best for them. You also kind of miss them, and when you see them, you bond and have great times and good laughs. But then time goes by and you start to feel those same resentments, or maybe they mess up again and you think, all right, I'm done with them forever, even though you know you're not. You never actually tell them how you really feel because it's awkward, or you don't think you should have to speak to them, they should just know, or you're not about to tell another adult how to live their life, or you are holding on to that love that you have for them deep down. And the only true way to get out of this limbo is to talk with them. But there is a possibility that even if you do talk, you could have a permanent falling out that could lead to you never speaking with that person again. And you might regret that until the day that you or they die. So what ends up happening most of the time is you never truly address those problems, even though both of you know they exist. And this cycle of love, hate, tension, animosity, remorse, guilt, and reconciliation goes on and on forever. This is essentially Drake and Josh's complicated relationship, only they are famous. And while most of you all probably have that type of relationship in your life, nobody knows about it. They have millions of followers diving and dissecting these extremely complicated nuances. So is their beef officially over? Well, this podcast would indicate so, but it's more likely that they are just in the reconciliation stage of their complicated relationship cycle. Maybe they will do another collab soon and seem like they are on great terms. But if their relationship is as realistic as we think, it's only a matter of time before the cycle repeats and fans start wondering again, hey, what's going on with Drake and Josh? I thought they were friends.
W video from Patrick CC. I see both sides very clearly. It's definitely a little bit of both, like you said. It's Drake and then it's Josh, and it's Drake and it's Josh. But also, I will say one point that he makes very, very true. Josh is just very quick to bash Drake. Even, you get what I'm saying? and it's kind of screwed up because Drake never really says anything about Josh, but Josh is always like, as soon as something happens, he's like, I don't even like the guy. Like, I didn't really care for him. So yeah, that is kind of screwed. But thank you guys for watching this video. For the people on YouTube, twitch.tv/Brando or whatever, we always have a good time over here. Come into the chat, have a good time, and I'll see you guys later.
Keep it low, keep it low, keep it low. I heard you wanna take a shot, yeah, let's get it in. Took a sip of Henny, so I had to bring out F&N. You told me they really wasn't fucking with a Rassy, so I just had to bring out the fault, nigga Pachi.